American, how do you view Black Americans?
I think they very, this is not to be like racist or anything, but it's a term that's been used in South Africa, whitewashed. You know, they lack their culture because the white culture has taken over their lives. Most of them. And I feel like they need to experience more of their own culture.
So when you say that Black Americans lost their culture, and
see that's what I was telling you. Like a lot of them feel like because we don't recognize our Africanness, that we've been whitewashed, even though we created our own new culture. Yeah, we here, we back.
Top.
Hey,
Top.
3, 2, 1, top. Welcome to another episode of the Top Hill Live. This is episode 215. It's your boy, Mr. Top Hill Live, a.k.a. E-Money Boss.
And I am D. Carmen.
D. Carmen back in the building. Like she never left. Like, yo.
I might miss Tuesday through Sunday, but I never miss Monday.
She's not going to miss the Monday, man. Like, I was just talking to Carmen earlier. I'm just so happy to see her out traveling, doing her thing and stuff like that. Like,
Thank you. I finally got my passport. I'm going to use it.
Exactly. And I'm glad that you are, too, because a lot of people get their passport and it just collects dust. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. But
I'm trying to collect some stamps.
I feel you, man, especially right now. But, yeah, man, we are back with another episode, guys. Just a few housekeeping notes. We got our first copyright strike. So, matter of fact, I think we did get a strike before, like a couple of years back. But you know, it's been a very, very long time. And yeah, so
did they warn us before that and then gave us the strike?
Yeah, so we got a warning right now. So we got to be very careful with what we listen to and watch and stuff like that for the time being. So we're going to be very careful with the music. But if you guys want to hear more music, make sure you guys are following us on X, Facebook, Twitch. More so X and Twitch. Like every time we start. So make sure you guys follow us on X at Top Hill Live and on Twitch, Top Hill Live, if you guys want to hear more of the music section. But yeah, we got burnt last episode. So, yeah. Hey, FYI, this is episode 215 of the Top Hill Live. You know, it's Imani and Carmen. Can you let the people know who you are and what the show is all about?
Of course, Imani and Carmen. Here's the intro for episode 215. Hey, everyone. Welcome to episode 215 of the Top Hill Live Show. I'm FYI, your creative voice assistant, excited to join your amazing hosts, Imani and Carmen, for another engaging episode. Our mission is to bridge the gap between African cultures on the continent and in the diaspora, exploring music, real estate, culture, and much more. We're committed to celebrating diversity and building a global community through enriching conversations and live reactions. Whether you're tuning in from Lagos, London, Johannesburg, or Jamaica, this show is crafted specifically for you. Join us as we delve into trending topics, share unique experiences, and fuel our passion for traveling to Africa. A heartfelt thank you to the Top Hill family for your continued support. You make every episode vibrant and special. And a warm welcome to our new viewers. We're delighted to have you on this journey with us. Let's dive into episode 215 with enthusiasm and curiosity. Now back to our fantastic hosts, Imani and Carmen.
Thank you, FYI. We can get into it. All right, so the next video is what South Africans think of Black Americans.
Let's just try not to be offended. We're going to come here with open ears.
Open ears.
Open ears and, you know, no bias.
Right. We're going to, you know, fresh thinking, fresh start, clear minds, you know what I mean?
Cause I know how y'all got down in, where
we were in Rwanda.
Rwanda?
Yeah.
I had to comfort the girl in her sneakers.
Yeah. But shout out to the Rwanda people. They was like, that's not a good representation of who the people are.
Yeah,
and they got in the comments too. They were like, yeah, that girl was tripping. So, but yeah, shout out to all the Rwandans. And yeah, let's get into it, man. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. This video comes from Coopscorner. Shout out to Coop, man. Let's get into it.
Hey.
View Black Americans.
They are sort of like diluted in a way, polluted in a way.
Black Americans
Oh, shit.
are
Wait,
self-centered.
Damn, you gonna trigger us already? God
You
damn.
gonna start the video like that?
How you
Dilute.
Coop? You gotta warm it up a little bit, man. You can't just like throw us in the pot like that, man.
Diluted is crazy because
Diluted is wild.
when the world uses our culture,
Right, man. Black Americans are self-centered. Oh my God, what?
Aye.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna say
Like interracial relationships, especially I'm in an interracial relationship.
I think there's beauty in being a Black American.
There we
But I
go.
think most of it goes unrecognized.
There we go.
Shout out to my brother right
Shout
there.
out to him.
Just because they're black and they're in America.
I mean, even the way we dressed is mostly inspired by.
Oh, all right.
Okay, shout out.
Confused, but the other half I'd say.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man Jackson Cooper, aka
What did
J
she
Coop, and we're live.
Then she said half of them got it, and I think half of them were confused. I think what she was pretty much alluding to trying to say. It's like half of us. And I ain't gonna lie, she might got a point. Like, cause more than half of us. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna let her finish her statement. I'll get my thing.
Let her cook.
Yeah, let her cook, man.
In Johannesburg, South Africa, in front of the Born Free Student Reds here on Wits University. Now today, I'm going to be asking South Africans, how do they view or feel about Black Americans? I believe this is a great topic to discuss since I am a Black American here in South Africa. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Is he the same guy who did the other video?
Which the Rwanda video?
Yeah.
No, he's a different guy.
Okay.
I think the other Rwanda video that we did came from a Rwandan or an African.
Okay.
So I did see a video from Jackson Cooper before. He did this in Kenya, and it was actually a really good video. So shout out to all the Kenyans, man. Kenyans are dope.
Drop down in the comments, like, would y'all like to see a Top Hill version of Black Americans' take on whichever country of choice, or just, the continent?
Yeah, this would be dope. Oh shit, Steiger said 10th video ahead. Oh man. Okay, all right, all right, we're ready, man.
Josine, nice to meet you. Now, like I have to ask, because you're very like.
I'm 21.
We're good.
Got him.
So we are currently in Johannesburg. Are you currently a student here?
Yes, I'm a student at Wits University, yeah. Doing my final year in education.
Beautiful. You know, like it's like different tribes and things here. So like, what is your background? What is your story?
Okay, so I am a colored. So in colors we have a mixture of everything, black, white, Indian as well. So yeah, that's my background.
I have met like quite a few colors. I've been to El Dorado Park, Eden Park. I've done like, wasn't dangerous for me. It's looking at my people out there. Colors is very, very unique here. So like, can you give us like a background on what it's like being a color living here?
Okay, so for me personally, so I'm a colored from Limpopo. So you don't really find a lot of colors back in Limpopo, but that's where it started because back in the years, my family that also came from Cape Town and Durban. So I come from a very diverse community.
Oh. That was premature, but I just wanted to pause the video for people who are listening in. So they have a pop-up here. It says the term "colored" in South Africa is used to describe a multiracial ethnic group with ancestry from multiple populations in the region. That includes indigenous groups of whites, Australians, East Asians, and South Asian people, mixed with, of course, black people. I don't know why it's missing that. I guess indigenous groups meaning black people.
Can we start calling mixed people here colors?
It's so crazy. So like, guys, as Americans, colored means something completely different because colored people. That's how black people were referred to as back in the day. Like before it was nigga, and then it was, we had Negro, and then colored before it went to African American or black. You know what I mean? So colored to us in America, means something completely different. But, I've done this show for a long time. I've done a lot of South African content. So I understand the context of what color means to South Africans and, just out of respect, I get where you're coming from. Like it's hard to tell somebody who grew up in a whole country and a government telling them, hey, this is who you are.
Right.
And then somebody from somewhere else tells you, no, that's not who you are. So like I get from that standpoint, like how the South Africans who are colored can be offended, by other things, by the miscommunication or conception of what's going on. So,
side note, I'm curious, how do you feel? What's your views on like the one drop rule? Like,
so I used to believe in the one drop rule, but I feel like it's been. Me personally, I feel like it's changed.
Uh-huh.
I think that you need to have at least one black parent to be considered black. Because there's a lot of people trying to get off like, yo, my grandfather was half black. And I'm like, yes.
You bred the you bred it up out of you.
Yeah, I think you need to at least have one black parent to be considered black. That's not my personal opinion. That's not an official fact, y'all. That's just how I see it. You know what I mean? But also, too, like, you know, I know there's people like Dr. Umar who said, like, yo, if you have a drop of black blood in you and you consider yourself to be an African and you move like that, act like that, then it's cool. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I'm conflicted.
What's your opinion?
I used to think that as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, one drop rule, because that's like kind of like how I was raised.
Right.
But because we have social media now, you see so many different like forms of what that could look like.
Right.
And it's like, I'm leaning more towards you have to have at least one black parent, but even in that sense, just because you skin folk don't mean you can folk. So it's like a slippery slope.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely circumstantial, even though it shouldn't be. It's kind of should be black and white, but it's not.
Right, because then you do have the mixed people too who try to run away from their blackness, but I mean, you're still black, but
or they're like, you know, white passing, and they're just like, not nigga.
Right, but you nigga. All right, let's get back to it.
She has family from Durban, and my grandmother has family from England and Cape Town as well. So that just makes me much more, my blood runs deeper than what a person would think. Because my father is black as well, my mother is colored, so that's even a bit more colored than one would think. To me, being a colored is having a lot of cultures and a lot of ethnicities mixed together. You have a bit of everything. Yeah, because when people look at me, they think I look Indian at first. And then when I talk, and they're like, no, you're actually colored.
So as somebody from South Africa,
I thought you was Indian.
Black Americans.
That's deep. I actually have beef.
Beef?
Go. The way they view us colored people as well plays a difference how I feel about black people.
I guess we paused the video prematurely.
Back to Tyler and how they took her when she came out being colored in.
Oh my God.
For American people that she stood on grounds that she was colored. As colored people, we don't want already with the apartheid and everything, we've been pushed aside. The colored community has been neglected because of who we are. Yes, we are a bit of everything, white and black, and then sometimes it's difficult to know on which grounds do you stand, on which people do you support more. Who do you
I don't know, you're not going to go into a room.
You are black, and you're like, no, I'm not black, I'm colored. You understand? I love black friends.
You're not going to go into a room and they're going to be like, well, you're a white woman. Like, no, you're not.
Yeah. And so this goes back to the conversation we just had. So for them, they want to be recognized as a separate race of people.
And that just feels like you picking and choosing at that point. Like, you can't pick and choose when you want to be black.
But it's hard because their country recognizes it. So, like, you know, we
don't come over here with that shit.
But see how they don't know that. Nobody gives them a guide and be like, hey, when you come to America or hey, when you come to Europe, you are now a black person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, no, I definitely get like.
And nobody told them that. So like.
But now that like she's even speaking on it, it's like so now you are aware. So it's kind of your job to educate yourself.
Right. But for them, they're like, I am educated. How are you going to tell me who I am?
Oh, we're not. Just don't come over here playing in our black ass faces.
Right. I get it. I'm seeing it from both lenses. You know what I mean? Because I see it from our like. I agree with you.
I see it. I don't respect it.
I know. It's just
like
hard,
it's like
y'all.
okay,
so
put it like this: if I went over there, I will respect however they move over there.
Exactly.
But you're not gonna come over here.
I feel you.
With my black ass culture, and expect me to treat you like a half white.
Absolutely. If I come to South Africa, not if I will come to South Africa, I will respect colors the way that they want.
They would like to be like
how they want to be. You know,
and express themselves.
Yeah, like I understand. Like I am in your house now. I'm in South Africa's house. This is how you guys run things. This is how you guys grew up. Apartheid, all these things.
But you come around here.
But and this is how you're gonna learn real quick. If you come to America, and you walk around saying that you're not black, it's going to be an issue because the cops are going to say you're black. The government's going to say you're black. It's colored. Like when you write in on forms, there's not a section for colored. Is you're black, you're white. You can say mixed.
There's an other.
There's an other, and then they'll probably put other and then put colored there, but it doesn't.
They're gonna see color and be like, this Negro is confused.
Yeah, so like I know you guys in South Africa were like, no, you guys, this is wrong, but I think it's just a misconception conception. You know what I mean? Like, I understand where you guys are coming from. I respect you all. But, you know, on a global stance, in a global view,
yeah, it's
confusing.
like, I don't want to come off narrow-minded about it,
Yeah.
and, like, you know, I don't want to offend anyone. It's just, that's my opinion. And
Right.
we can agree to disagree.
And
like
yeah.
I said, I will respect you in your house, and you
Right.
in my house, I'm going to call you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
At the very least, you're black. Like, if we were to separate it in two categories, you're not, like, for example,
Yeah.
Italians are more on the olive
Right.
side
Yeah.
of the whites, but
Right.
they're still white.
They're still white. Yeah. And even the Jewish people do. Like,
Yeah,
Jewish people will still consider themselves
like they
white
got thick, coarse hair, but
Yeah.
they're still white passing at the very least.
Right.
Whereas those, like, you have babies, your babies are going to be black.
Right. And I also don't want to make it seem like it's just too, like, I don't think that, you know, hey, if you leave South Africa and go to America or another country, that you need to get rid of your heritage. No. I'm not saying that. And I think that's another thing, because I'm not saying, like, if you're mixed with Indian and black or Indian and white or whatever the case is, we're not saying to get rid of your Indian heritage or your white heritage or anything like that.
I don't even, like, I guess Indian is like a miscellaneous, because it's like, y'all are like black people with white haircuts. So
yeah, because, like, I mean, you know, a lot of times people get race confused with nationality a lot, too. And, you know, there are a lot of black Indians, you know what I mean? Southeastern Asian people.
Yeah.
Some people in Vietnam and, you know.
But that's the thing.
Malaysia.
It's just like, but then when y'all come here, it's like y'all still try to other us, like y'all not black too.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I kind of get more like, well, y'all still black. Because, like,
Right.
they'll look at us and be like, no, but you're black.
Yeah,
We're colored. Like,
right. And I think for black people, too,
Okay.
we want more unification. So, like, and there's just, like, a universal, doesn't matter where I go, what country I go
Africa is
to.
complicated. No, who's that? Oh.
Yeah. It is, like, so for me, like, when I go to another country and I see a black person, it's like a mutual understanding. That head nod, that whatever the case. Like, we know we black. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that. And we see colored people as black.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though I understand colored people don't see themselves as black. They were brought up not to think that. For generations. They were told. Themselves, them parents, their great parents, do apartheid. They were told they're not. And they were given certain rights and privileges and announced certain rights and privileges because of this classification. You know what I mean? So I get where they're coming from. And it's just tough because South Africa is the only country that recognizes color. But there's 190 countries in the world. You know what I mean? So
That's what I'm like, so would we call our mixed folk colored?
right. Well, but that's the thing. They can look at us as black Americans. Most of us are mixed. Due to slave trade and stuff like that, like, we have white blood in us.
At some point, but I feel like that, like, that's a reach for a lot of people though.
Yeah.
Like, my great grandmama and daddy was black.
Right.
So, well,
I mean, if you
a little debatable, my dad's that, but
but I mean, if you go down any black person's family tree, it's hard to find somebody that's black American that has 100% African DNA.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But it's like, if your grandparents was black, you black.
Right.
If your parents are black, you black. Like,
right.
I'm not going to go all the way back to the ancestry because we don't even have the luxury of going but so far.
Right. We can only go but so far, and you know, they have DNA that can, like, kind of let you know a little bit, but like.
But that's the thing. It's just like, no, we're not even like getting down to the science of it. It's like,
right. And
I'm gonna look at you and I'm gonna say black. Like, no one's gonna sit there and go and do your ancestry and see that you don't want to say anything problematic, but you're black passing just like there's white passing.
Right.
Just for example, there's white passing Hispanic people.
Right.
And there's
black
Hispanic people.
Yeah,
like there's Jocelyn, Puerto Rican.
Right.
And then there's Fat Joe, Puerto Rican.
Right.
And he still, like, considers himself
black. Right.
But.
And then you have, what's the other one? Like a Daddy Yankee or something like that? Like, you know. Cardi B claims her black.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. But, like, even her, like, she's not even really white passing, but if she wanted to.
She could if she tried.
Yeah,
I get it. It's complicated. Shout out to Saki said South Africa is complicated. Yeah, we see we see, but I want to let you guys know we understand. We love you all. This whole show is dedicated to bridging the gap and us coming together and unifying and stuff like that.
And educating each other.
Yeah, and learning. So I already know the comments is probably going to go on fire this episode. We're open to the dialogue. We're open to learning. We're open to being wrong. You know what I mean? But we want to learn at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, it's just the color thing is like, it's always hard for me to fully wrap my head around. Like, I can wrap my head around the concept and why it is what it is. Yeah. It's just kind of like accepting it. It's like, without being disrespectful to what their beliefs are.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yep.
They told us, like, 10th video ahead. This is the first girl. Oh, my God, dog. Oh, let's keep it going. Keep it going.
It was hard for me to also stand strong that I am a colored. So now going back to the American thing, why do we always have to be pushed down as colored? Why is it that always a thing ongoing, but even today? It goes back also to apartheid and when is it going to end, you understand? So yeah, I have beef with that. Black Americans, yeah.
Alright, so this is me before I got to South Africa. I'm going to give you my mindset. I would look at Tyler the same way and be like, why is she saying that she's not black? But guys, as I said, I've been through many, many colored neighborhoods.
It's different. It's not the same. We aren't the same. We have different cultures. We have different beliefs as well.
Now that I've been here, guys, Tyler was absolutely right with what she was saying because the culture is completely different. So I don't want you to have a beef with us. We just need to be more understanding of each other.
Have an open mind. When someone comes to you and says, I'm colored, ask why. What makes them so different to you, Get to know the person. Don't just judge and, when now you want to build up, you want to become defensive, you want to push some culture down on someone who is brought up completely different to how you were brought up.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do we have here today?
It's Wade.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you too, man.
So where are you from?
From South Africa, based in Joburg, but originally I'm from Limpopo.
What are you going to school for?
I'll be doing law.
Okay, so being from South Africa, how do you view, or what's your opinion on Black Americans?
My experience is not that deep, but so far I feel like that they bring a lot of teachings from us about how things operate outside of. So they bring a little bit exposure in terms of the drip, how to be dressed nicely, such things like the music. Those are the type of things we learn from Black Africans here from America.
How do you think that Black Americans and South Africans can come together more and learn about each other's culture?
Great question.
So we are the one who expect to learn from them. That's the rule. That's the rule. Good luck with everything.
Okay, so who do we have here today?
My name is Pusike, my surname is Ambata. I'm from Duduza, but originally from the Eastern Cape.
What is it that you do here in Johannesburg?
I study logistics and supply chain management in Rosebank College. I'm a second year student this year.
How do you view Black Americans?
Okay, when it comes to us and Black Americans, we are just two different groups. We are strictly from South Africa, from Africa, the roots of Africa. And I feel like they are sort of diluted in a way, polluted in a way. You can even hear from the English accents, the way we speak, the way we talk, the way we do things. We are not the same.
We weren't colonized by the same people.
I mean, technically we were, actually.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. It's like South Africans were colonized by the British. The British are the ones who brought us over to America. That's why we both speak English. But, of course, America, we have our own slang. You can even go to different, states and people say words differently and stuff like that. But to call Black Americans diluted is kind of wild. Now, I know some Africans have to take like this. I know Burna Boy actually got...
Why do they call colors diluted?
Bruh. Yeah. I think it's because they don't think that we have a culture. You know what I mean?
The culture that...
Yeah, that we influence the world on. Yeah. So, I think it's because...
No matter what the race is?
I think, because Burna Boy kind of got in some deep water for saying this too. And some other Africans, I don't think they meant harm by this, but they were saying that Black Americans have lost their African culture, and because they lost that, means that they have a new culture. Like, we have a new culture. You know what I mean? And for some reason, I really want to watch this video too. Maybe another episode. It was a conversation between Africans and Black Americans, kind of having this conversation, and the African was just like, "Hey, you go to Jamaica, they have culture. You know what I mean? Like, why don't?" You know what I mean? But I'm like, bro, it's so simple. Africans were taken from the continent. They were placed in all over.
Redistributed everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. So, us being Black Americans does not mean that we're diluted or anything like that. We have our own culture. Just like the Jamaicans, the Bahamians, the Dominican Republic, we all have culture. We all came from Africa. We just all were placed in different places at the same time.
What makes us so like not them? Like everybody else can have a culture except us.
I think it's just the fact that we lost our African heritage, and maybe some of the Caribbean they still held on to a lot of those things, like even with their dance, their dress, their food. You can still see the African connection, and I think like with us in America, like they did do a number on Black Americans to forget all of our culture. You know what I mean?
But
like,
we still made our own from like we prevailed.
Exactly, and that's why
and made something so rich that the world can't even deny it.
Like from hip hop to sports entertainment to fashion,
niggas
to music.
made peanut butter.
Yeah, and then and then I'm just talking about the stuff that you guys know, but like the inventors, like did you know that Black people?
Because I feel like that'd be our main point. We'd be like, oh yeah, we do hip hop, we do, but we've
there's
invented
so much more.
So much
the
more
lawnmower,
that we don't even get credited for.
The traffic light. Benjamin Banneker created DC, like the landscape for DC, like George Washington Carver. Like there's so many Black inventors.
Like maybe I gotta educate myself on some South African Black inventors. So
yeah.
Black ones.
Yeah.
Black ones.
Yeah. I'm gonna get to the comments. I already see you guys winding up. Eric said, "Yeah, it's wild. These new young ones don't know their history no more. I feel bad for them. Yeah, they just think African Americans popped out of nowhere. Yeah, exactly. The thing, as most Africans think, African Americans don't have culture, but I disagree with them. We need to all Black people have a conversation. Yes, absolutely. We all need to have a conversation. This is why we're doing the show, y'all. Like we love having these talks. We love having these conversations. And at the end of the day, we want to come together. We want to have an understanding. We want to have a better understanding for you guys, and you guys have a better understanding from us, and then we can build and move, move forward. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want us to just be arguing back and forth and not get nowhere. You know what I mean? Because I believe that when we come together, like, we're unstoppable, honestly. So
it's just the coming together part.
Yeah, like and it's been hard. Like they you can, figure out who they is, have worked extremely hard to keep us separate. There's a reason why there is propaganda telling Africans that Black Americans don't have culture, or Black Americans are ignorant or ghetto and this and that. And there's a ignorant culture on our side too, of us thinking that Africans are all poor, or all don't have houses, or they have lions in the backyard. Like it took for us to like do this show.
Well, technically,
it took for us to do this show to see so many beautiful things about Africa that we have never seen unless we actually went out and searched for it. Like I've been to the continent 3 times. Me and Carmen do this show every week, learning, figuring out new things, and we're planning to come out there more. And this is also a great hub for everybody in the diaspora to come, to this channel, comment, and learn from each other and build with each other too. So yeah.
Let's see what the hell she got to say.
Right.
Do you think that there's a way for us to maybe come together and learn about each other's cultures more?
Definitely. With all the logistics that's going on here, like right now, I'm studying logistics, but like I don't necessarily want to work here around in Africa. I actually want to go to other countries and
explore other opportunities, because other countries have a good structure around the logistics world, So obviously, if I am going to go into their territory, into their own space, I have to learn about their values, their beliefs, Yeah, so I have to sort of adjust.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So who do we have here today?
Joshua Gasper, Mikael Osman.
So, where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Johannesburg, South.
Are these colored?
Come on, Southwest. It's a red flag, yeah. Rustenburg, Northwest.
So, what do you guys do for fun here in South Africa?
Man, everything. We go out every night. Our culture is just different, bro. Honestly. It's amazing. Everyone gets along. We out everywhere. The vibes are just different.
Fun.
How?
There's too much to do for fun, yeah. I'm saying they don't know what that is.
I know what that is.
Get to meet a lot of people, different. Bro, I've met so many different nationalities, whatever. Wherever you go, you're gonna meet someone new. Yeah, that's the best part about South Africa.
How do South Africans view Black Americans?
We don't view them in a different way. I mean, I think they're similar to the Black people here, but they are cool for sure. But I haven't been to America, so I can't tell you for sure.
So how do you think that the media portrays Black Americans?
I don't think they portray them in the best way, to be honest. I would like to go myself. I would want to visit America one day.
They are portrayed as more disadvantaged, more hood type of people.
That's what they be showing them.
Different to Black South Africans. Yeah.
Appreciate you guys, man. Y'all were great, man. All right, so who do we have here today?
I'm Bradamoa. I'm from South Africa. I'm from Joburg. I was from Pretoria, and then I moved here 2 years ago.
Where are we currently located at in Johannesburg?
Right now, well, Wits. Wits. Bits around university.
Do you like know where you are right now?
I do.
You being from South Africa, you're a white South African clearly. How do you like living here during its current state in South Africa?
When people ask me where I'm from, well, I like to say I'm a post-South African. I do like to be aware that I am from a different background, especially I'm a first year, this is orientation. Like a lot of the talks are about how people come from like poverty, like a lot of places, like a lot of people, this is like the first of their generation going to university, where I'm like obviously very privileged, my whole family is gone. So I like to remind myself of that, but I love my country and I wouldn't change it at all.
How do you view Black Americans as a white South African?
My sister lived in the States for a few years. She says it's just quite different, you know, she obviously lived in LA, so it was very different. Like interracial relationships, especially I'm in an interracial relationship. We go out, no one looks, no one questions it, but my sister was in an international relationship in the States, and it was very, very different for her.
Okay, well thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
She was catching the side eye.
Evans.
Nice
Collective Black
Right
disapproval.
now, where are you currently located?
We are in the busy environment of Braamfontein, Johannesburg. So yeah, next to Witwatersrand. I'm doing my final year of a BCom Insurance and Risk Management and Corporate Finance and Investments degree.
How do you like living in South Africa currently?
I'm not born in South Africa. I've been in South Africa since age 4, and I've traveled a bit, so I do like South Africa a lot, particularly because of the climate. It's not too extreme on either ends, and people are very friendly. I don't know if anyone's been to South Africa, but it's the type of place where you can literally just tell someone away and then dap them up at the same time. So yeah.
So where are you from originally?
I was born in Zimbabwe. That's where I'm from originally. Same, my heritage is Zimbabwe, Shona. That's where I'm at.
As somebody from Zimbabwe, how do you view Black Americans?
Black Americans are not really the same African as we are African. We'll view them as though, oh no, they're diluted.
And I feel like they're sort of like diluted in a way, polluted in a way.
Because now they're in the West.
We gotta find a different word, y'all. We gotta find a different word.
But then again, Africanism doesn't matter about that. I think the fact that you can see white people in South Africa and white people calling themselves Africans shows you that Africanism is not about being particularly black. That's not what it's about. Nor is it about being particularly in Africa.
From the media, what you've seen of Black Americans, how do you view them personally?
The things you see from the media are always negatives. You barely ever get, oh, like, this guy's actually doing well for himself, or this dude's on YouTube making interviews, and he's a Black American. You don't get that. We often see the violence, we see stuff of that nature. So it's unfortunate that with media, negativity is what gets perpetuated, and maybe that then influences how people view Black Americans.
How would you promote this side of the world to Black Americans?
This side of the world, I definitely think that this side of the world is worth coming here, because as a Black American, you grow up in an environment where I do believe black people in America are the minority. You guys are not the majority there. What is it, 30%?
It's about 14%.
Even half than what I thought. I think it's worthwhile for you to come to a country where you're no longer the minority.
Allegedly.
So you can kind of see it from a different eye.
Like, I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
No, thank you, Jackson.
Who do we have here?
I completely agree with that statement. When I started traveling, I went to a country that was majority black. It was the first time, and I never even knew that this was a thing. But it was the first time I felt like not a black person, but just a person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you're now in the majority. So, yeah, I think it's great for just perspective.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's something like I would have to actually personally experience, because I haven't experienced it. I can't even like wrap my head around what that feels like.
Yeah, like it's something you don't even think about, because you know we grow up here in America, but when you actually get there, it feels like holy shit. Like,
well, I see. The thing is, it's like I grew up in PG County, so it's a predominantly black county.
Right, exactly.
I was never really around white people.
Yeah, same.
So it's like I always thought we was the majority, and it's like a rich county at some point, the richest county in America, black county at that. Right. So I was just like, I didn't even have a white teacher until I was maybe in high school, and that's because I moved to a different county.
Right.
And even then, we were still the majority there, at least from what I could see.
Yeah.
So
good point.
I never personally felt othered.
Yeah.
And even the places that I've traveled, I haven't like felt othered, because I guess it's because I'm in predominantly black areas, spaces.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't even like relate to that.
For sure.
But I guess you can see it like in media, or like, you know, like for example, when I went on the cruise, it's like, oh, I see a lot of like Caucasians, but it's like, these people, like, it's never like, oh, I feel othered. Like thank God I've never been in like a Karen situation. That was never like my norm to like.
Yeah, and you make a really good point. Growing up in the DMV, people are used, even white people, when you do come across them, they're used to seeing black people that have money and wealth. It's not a weird thing or something to question compared to like if you are a black person from Mississippi who might have wealth, you can go to the wrong side of town and people will check like, well, how do you afford this car? Or how do you live in this house? Like we still see videos today of, these Karens out here calling the police on black people who are buying houses, even though they bought houses in these neighborhoods. They're like, you don't look like you belong here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not our experience here in this area just because of this area. But this is like a good starter kit kind of to feel like what it will feel like to be in a country full of majority black people.
Right.
But, yeah.
Hey, what's your name?
My name is Alam.
Okay, so where are you from?
I'm from Eastern Cape originally.
What is life like as a young South African living in South Africa right now?
It's nice, it's different, and I've lived like in a lot of different places, so I've experienced a lot of different people from different backgrounds and different stories and stuff like that.
Beautiful.
Yes.
How do you view black Africans? No, I'm sure. How do you view black Americans?
I can't say much because you only know them from a distance. It's like that thing where you group people into one sort of thing, where you watch movies, you hear the music, and you just generalize it. Yeah. But it's people we can appreciate.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I do watch your videos.
Okay, so who do we have here today?
I'm Joshua Smith.
Nice to meet you, Joshua.
Joshua, with the E.
Joshua.
Joshua, there we go.
Sorry. So where are you from?
I'm from Nigel, or Outer Park.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where other colors reside.
What's your experience been like as a young colored in South Africa?
Definitely difficult because people are biased, obviously. They will assume that I'm a color that's not going to take on a knife and start stabbing and stuff. Or that we like to drink and stuff like that. But that's always the case. They assume that we are drinkers, we smokers, all we do is on the streets. But here I'm example, I'm in university, studying law. Your circumstances don't define you.
How do you view black Americans?
Well, black Americans are self-centered. I'm going to say, like for example, colors. They had a big problem with Tyler. Now the Tyler said, and I know it's from their slavery days. I'm not being racist or anything because they were called
their slavery days. I'm sorry.
Our own culture. And we grew up in this culture as colors. So we look and we are proud of it. So you cannot expect us to feel bad because we all went through something we didn't go through. You understand? But we colored. And I'm proud of it.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
What?
My man. All right, so who do we have here today?
You have Monte.
And you have Elise.
Where are you guys from?
What?
I hear, like I said, I understand their side of what they're talking about, and I hear the confusion because he's like, don't make us feel bad for something that you guys went through. I understand that you guys were called colored at a certain period of time, but that doesn't mean that you stop my culture. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys got the point.
From Durban, KwaZulu-Natal.
How do you view black Americans?
They're normal people. I don't have any view. When I look at a person, I don't look
Oh my God, I did not expect to see her when I looked up.
Hey,
okay, this is the person's personality. Do I like it? Do I not like it? And that's how I view you as a person.
I don't want to generalize them. I think some black Americans are really funny, really entertaining people. And there's some black Americans that think they're superior just because they're black and they're in America. If you're black, we're the same. Everywhere you find us, we're the same. We have a unique vibe to us that you find. But yeah, I like black Americans. I think they're cool people.
Bye, guys.
Okay, who do we have here today?
No, you're not having
Nice to meet you, Tommy. So, we are currently in Johannesburg. What is it that you do here?
Yeah, I'm currently a student. I'm studying at Wits. I'm studying biomedical engineering.
It's like if I ever need like the hospital, hopefully not. You're going to be the one to save my life.
Hopefully, if you lose the arm or something, well, no.
Are you from South Africa?
No, I am Zimbabwean, but I grew up in South Africa, so I'm what people call a half-breed.
How do you view the current state of South Africa being a young black man?
It's so uncertain, like so many groups which are coming up, especially with the youth, trying to revolutionize the system, trying to make things better, but to the basis of it, we haven't seen it work yet.
How do you view black Americans?
I think there's beauty in being a black American. But I think most of it goes unrecognized. Knowing, having grown up in Africa, in specifically South Africa, in a place where you've got very diverse cultures all coming together, but all rooted and deeply established on the fact that we're African, you start to see the beauty in it. And I feel like black Americans become so detached from that they don't understand the beauty behind being African here.
If black Americans are detached, how do you think that black Americans and South Africans can come together more?
Well, I think it's more of a matter of being proud, making an effort to learn the culture, making an effort to learn the norms, to learn what lies behind that also.
Appreciate you, brother.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so who do we have here today?
Samira.
Where are you from, Miss Samira?
I'm from South Africa, but I don't live in Joburg. I live in a town called Nasrec.
What is life like for you being a young South African?
Scary, I guess. It's like I recently moved here, so I'm like alone. Yeah, so it's pretty like different to what I used to.
As a South African, how do you view black Americans?
Black Americans. I don't really look at race. I don't when I see a person, I don't really think like, oh, you're black, you're white. It's just Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much. What do we have here today?
Good answer.
What is it that you do here in Johannesburg?
I'm a young entrepreneur, so I have a luxury brand that I'm pushing. But here I study environmental governance, passionate about sustainability, so, trying to find solutions, circular economy, you get what I'm saying? But that's what I'm about here.
How do you view Black Americans?
I think you're cool, in a sense. There's a lot of things that we have in culture that we reference to live the way we live, right? There's certain things that I view the way that I view because of the cultural context that I grew up in, right? You all have a very diverse perspective on life, but let me say we have a more intertwined into the roots, culture, spirituality, and all of those things.
How do you think that Black Americans and South Africans can come together and just learn about each other's cultures more?
We're one of the same people. I'm one person who believes that the world is a big family. Even the way we dress is mostly inspired by y'all.
Wow. Good luck with everything that you got going on.
Thank you, sir. Probably you'll see me out one day in the States.
For sure.
All around the world.
For sure, man. Appreciate you, sir.
All the best.
Salute. Okay, so who do we have here today?
I'm Aspira.
Nice to meet you, Aspira. Where are you from?
I'm from South Africa, Johannesburg, South.
So what is it that you do here in Johannesburg?
I'm currently studying my first year at Wits, doing my BA General.
As a South African, how do you view Black Americans?
I think they very... This is not to be like racist or anything, but it's a term that's been used in South Africa, whitewashed. They lack their culture because the white culture has taken over their lives. Most of them. And I feel like they need to experience more of their own culture.
So when you say that Black Americans lost their culture, and
see that's what I was telling you. Like a lot of them feel like because we don't recognize our Africanness, that we've been whitewashed, even though we created our own new culture. They don't
They're
see
the ones who made a whole subculture off of like mixed people.
Right. But the government gave them that. So I think
the government gave us nothing. So.
And I think a lot of them see like the Black American culture or hip hop culture. They look at it as a negative way, so they don't even look at it as like a positive thing.
But not even just that though. It's like they look at the hip hop culture as that's like the
only thing,
end all be all.
Right. Which. That's one piece, but we had soul, we had jazz, we created country, we created so many.
Outside of music, like niggas is multifaceted.
Yeah, for sure. The way how we dress, like our speech, our food, like our soul food.
And that's the thing. It's just like I think when we get down to like the core overlook that everyone has described, it's like you all kind of look at us like entertainment,
right? Because that's where they only show us. Like in the media anywhere around the world, we're only seen as entertainment.
Whereas though, like we
singers.
don't really have no type of like point of reference for them because they're not really entertaining.
Right. The wealthiest.
Well, don't get me wrong. There's some. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like common. Like that's kind of like our thing here. It's like whether it's a musical artist, visual artist, like movies, TVs. Like we're in some form of entertainment, and that's why they're pulling all these points of reference. Whereas though, just like with the color thing, we don't have a point of reference because like y'all aren't like they're just now giving us TV shows about
South Africans.
Tyler's
became a big global
like
star.
this is like all
so
new to us. Just like, but you all kind of like whereas though like
you've been interviewing or you've been seeing us
exactly. So it's like because we're just now being like educated on your lifestyle over there, but we know that you people exist. It's never like, oh, well, we're looking for you to entertainment. It's just like, that's the norm when it's like the roles are reversed.
Right. I seen this clip from Roland Martin. My mom sent me this. It was hilarious. Roland Martin is funny. So he was, I think he was like flying first class somewhere. I don't know if you guys know who Roland Martin is, but he's like a radio personality. And a white lady came up to him and asked him like, "Oh, did you play football?" And then Roland Martin's like, "Oh, were you a cheerleader?" Like, because every single time, like, if you're black and you show some sign of wealth, it had to come from entertainment somehow. You know what I mean? And that's not always the case. The wealthiest black man in America is
tech.
The wealthiest black man in America. His name is Robert S. Smith. Not in entertainment at all. A lot of people don't even know who that man is. He could be walking down the street, nobody will know who he is. But he's the wealthiest black man in America.
I would like to know who he is.
He spoke at InvestFest, man. Shout out to Robert.
Oh yeah, I think you told me. You did tell me about him.
Super dope. All right,
Agua.
But hold on. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of people that watch this. So you said that they lost their culture, but
you got a little too much dip on your shirt.
like Black Americans. So if Black Americans lost their culture, how can they get it back?
No, they could like research, get in touch with their family, see their heritage. Like these people are dressed. Yes, we're all dressed in American, what you call American clothes.
Hold
They
on.
still go home.
Hold on. What is this? Everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. Anonymous. It's fun. It's fun to act black because it's safe for other races. They can dress and talk like rappers, and nobody calls them thugs. Other races are simultaneously disgusted by how we look, but in all what we do. They can stand us. They can't stand us while also desperately wanting to be like us. Black without looking black, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. Well said, Anonymous.
And that's why it's like such a slap in the face when you all like be like, oh, they're kind of diluted. It's like, well, you all kind of want to be here.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, diluted is the wrong word for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe y'all verbiage is off, but diluted is just such a slap in the face.
Like whitewash, like we don't take the
And
white
then-
American
and then
culture.
it's like-
White American take our culture.
Then they like take like so much. They just like overlook the privilege of being in the country and being able to be like, oh, well, why don't they just research their family? Like,
Oh my God! Yeah.
how?
Yeah, like and this
Niggas was thrown off the bus, the boat.
for anybody who is in Africa who don't understand, we can't just research where we come from. It's literally a cutoff point for most of us. Like our names were taken from us, our language was taken from us. They didn't keep records of all black people that came over here. Like it's damn near impossible to figure out where we came from. They did that on purpose. They did it on purpose, y'all. Like because they know that we're orphans. Like black Americans truly are orphans in America. We don't. It's hard to pinpoint a home. So like when we doing the show, we talk about we're coming back home and we're coming back to Africa. Like I see it now as like a privilege. Like we can now choose our new home, but like we don't know exactly.
But that's the
where we come
equivalent to
from.
like being adopted. It's like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is nice. I really like it, but
Yeah.
I still kind of want to know where I came from.
Right.
Whether
And-
it's good, bad, or ugly. Like, hey,
Yeah, and I know they talked about ancestry in the last video that we did from Lord Williamson. They mentioned ancestry, programs to figure out like how you can figure it out. So like I've done ancestry.com and I've done africanancestry.com, and with ancestry.com I'm able to see a percentage of like where I'm from, but like it's so generalized it doesn't really tell you shit. You know what I mean? Like I understand my DNA is clearly African. It mixed upon West African lineage and stuff like that. I took the African ancestry test, which was able to trace my mother's lineage all the way back to a woman in Africa. So I do know at least one of my ancestors are from the Djola tribe in Guinea-Bissau. I know that. But that's just one out of the hundreds of people of my ancestry that I will never know where they came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's really tough. So like when we hear that, it's a slap in the face. It's triggering because we literally can't. We literally can't. No other people in the world has gone through that. Like that's the beauty. I understand Africans have their own problems and stuff like that, but at least you guys have your heritage, your ancestry. You know where you come from. You know what tribe you're from. We can't. We literally can't. It's like, yeah.
These people are dressed. Yes, we're all dressed in American, what you call American clothes. They still go home. They eat food from their culture, from where they're from, talk their languages. Everyone in America is just. America wasn't there for the whites and the black people. The Indians were there first.
All right, well, thank you so much. Okay, so who do we have here today?
You have Bandilian Tara.
Oh, man.
Oh, okay. She said the Indians were there first. Okay, I'm pretty sure she means Native Americans, not.
it's just
Indians,
like, I'm
but-
pretty sure that's what she means, but for them to have their own subculture of colors, and she looked like she falls under that.
Yeah.
You to call them Indians is even more of a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Not natives.
Yeah, they're natives, they're indigenous, and they're only 1% of America's population. White people murdered all of them.
It just seems
Put
like
the rest on
they're
reservations.
reading the same history books they're giving us.
Yeah, they are. Because, like, and that's the crazy thing, too. And Burna Boy actually said this in one of his songs, that I'm being taught European history in my African schools. So, like, South Africa is colonized by the British, so they learn British history. You know what I mean? Nigerians learn British history. Ghanaians learn British history. And so they know that side. But I don't know this, y'all. Like I'm assuming, and hopefully you guys learn about your own indigenous people's history as well too, not just the people who colonized you. The whole reason why you speak English is because a group of people came in there and forced you to speak this language the same way that we were. So, yeah.
So where you from?
This video is triggering.
What's your view on the way that South Africa is going right now?
Yeah, South Africa is not going great right now. There are certain figures that need to be put into shape. They mentioned, and this was supposed to fund children. So some children go unfunded and they have to put that weight on their budget. So there are a lot of things that need to be revisited.
As a black South African, how do you view black Americans?
Perhaps black Americans are not so different from because we are black at the end of the day. Perhaps no matter how we treat ourselves and how we handle ourselves and people and our behaviors, but we are black after all. Sometimes you cannot separate black from South African from black. So yeah, must can be a skin with that.
Young brother smart right here. That's why. Where you going to school for?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. I'm doing biological science.
Shout out to the poli-sci niggas.
Keep going. Appreciate you, bro. Okay, so who we have here today?
I'm Carmen.
Okay, so where are you from?
I'm from South Africa, Joburg.
What is life like for you as a young South African in this current South Africa?
Personally, I really like South Africa. I feel like it's very diverse in like culture and like the vibe is just there. Everybody supports each other. Like some person you don't know on the street, you go into a club, you just all just gonna jive together.
So she likes to jive and groove. All right. So as a South African, how do you view Black Americans?
I think they're pretty cool. I just don't understand the whole colored thing though, because I mean in South Africa it's so usual to call someone colored.
Right. But you got to remember, like that's 8,000 miles away, so we got completely different cultures. So that's why it's so different to us.
Oh yeah, because there's a whole thing going on about it's disrespectful. I mean, I'll respect it and I won't call anyone they are colored, but over here it's just normal.
What can you tell us about the Indian culture here in South Africa?
I really love it.
You love it?
Yeah, I like to wear lingas and just like get all dressed up with all the jewelry. Oh my word, the mendi. Oh, I love it. Interesting. Like I love the music, but personally I prefer R&B. But I really like it.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So who do we have here today?
I'm Tigger.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Jackson.
Okay, nice to meet you, Jackson.
Okay, so
no, really.
Okay, so you being a young black man living in South Africa, how do you view the climate right now?
It's not the racism and it's not like indifference. Because like everyone here is South African. It's like we don't normally think about color all that much. When I talk to most of my friends, they don't go, oh, you're black. It's not a thing. You don't think about it. That's the best way to just ignore racism. Just believe it's not even a thing. Because like it doesn't have any power.
As a South African, how do you view Black Americans?
I mean, I guess it's a privilege to have.
Yeah, like you, like me, like that who are like walking by. Honestly, I don't even feel like calling you guys Black Americans. You're people. Yeah, people be just the word to say. I can't think of anything else. I don't necessarily say brothers because that's kind of excluding other people. Yeah.
Oh, your brother.
Thank you. All right, so who do we have here today?
My name's Sepul. Hi.
Where are you from?
I'm from this suburb called Midrand.
What is life like for you as a young South African in this current South Africa?
Wild. So I've moved around quite a bit. So I feel like I'm a little bit out of touch with the current climate of where we're at right now. There's a melting pot going on, which is indicative of everything we're about. We're rainbow nations.
How do you view Black Americans?
Honestly, quite confused. I know that there's an identity crisis in terms of what it means to be black and navigating that identity. So I would say confused, but the other half I'd say feel more grounded in the fact that they're American, have generations before them that have been integral to how America is today. There are some that are like, now I'm black and I'm proud, but I'm also American. I don't have to adopt a philosophy that's African or even try to identify with Africa when I am American and I'm okay with that.
Thank you.
What's your name, brother?
My name is Nishadi Nishadi.
Nice to meet you. So where are you from?
My origin, I'm from the Eastern Cape in a village called...
Okay, that's you?
Yeah, it's African Kendrick.
This is different parts of South Africa.
Shit, they're not like us, man.
No, that's you.
Farm life.
Yeah.
So you being a South African, how do you view Black Americans?
Well, when I think of Black Americans, I'm thinking hip hop. I'm thinking Jay-Z, J. Cole, Kendrick, because I'm into,
What I say?
Yeah. Wop.
I fuck them up.
Swat was our Boys to Men.
You know about Boys to Men?
It's a transition from Boys to Men. So I'm probably going to wear this for like one more month from there.
Although they come to the end.
So, I guess it's safe to say that they don't have no type of Black History Month.
So being a South African, how do you view Black Americans?
I mean, they're entertaining. It's not as much, I would say, a lack of heritage. They're Americans, but they don't come from America. Like, all Black people come from Africa, so it's sort of a disconnect to be someone who's Black American. So I feel like that's always interesting to, like, see how Black Americans live, I guess.
They're just people, man. Everyone's living their own lives.
We are family, that's all I can say. They're really nice people. I think when I see a Black American, I cannot even...
Shout out to you, sis.
Because it looks?
We look the same.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, there you have it. That was asking South Africans, how do they view Black Americans? I'm going to let you guys be the judge on those answers, man. That was very, very interesting. Very unique. So the only way that I can know if you want more of these videos, you have to hit that like button, you have to subscribe, and leave a comment below. All right, y'all, it's your man Jackson Cooper. Until next time from Johannesburg. Peace. How you doing, man? Jackson, how you doing?
Yeah, and who told you to shop?
I've like been here since like November, bro. I just keep hearing it, so I just say it. Thumb out first. You gotta have a thumb out. You know what I mean? I know what's up. I know what's up. Yeah, I was like that. Like here.
Let me see.
No, it's like shop.
Honestly, yo.
You just like walk like that. Shop. Okay, no, it's like already simple. So I was like, what's good, bro? How you doing? Chilling?
So I'm gonna do this. Yeah, there you go. Okay, not easy.
Simple.
Looking clean, looking fresh though.
Ready? Thank you, brother. You ready?
All right. That was dope, man. Shout out to Jackson Cooper. Give him another round of applause, man. Give him another round of applause. Make sure you guys follow his channel, Coopscorner, by the way. Dope channel. He travels all around the world, and I really do appreciate these videos because it does give us an idea on a ground. This is clearly a small sample size, but it's still good to hear, you know, what do other people think about, you know, us and how we think about them and stuff like that.
They not like us.
Kendrick. But yeah, like, you guys heard our conversations and stuff like that. Like, in closing, you know, we got love for all African people. I recognize that I understand my history. I understand, you know, my culture. I'm learning more about you all's culture as well, too, and just finding a way to blend it together. But we're one, man. Like, at the end of the day, I do feel like we are one. We're connected. And I think that we need to stop focusing on what divides us and start focusing on what, you know, brings us closer together. Because that is where we can really become great, where we can really elevate. You know what I mean? There's things that we can learn from Africans on the continent. There's things that you guys can learn from Black Americans or other people in the diaspora as well, too. But they kept us separated. They forced us to be separated for a reason. And if you guys know what that reason is, you know, put it in the comments. But, yeah, we need to have more of these conversations so we can understand each other more. I think Carmen made a really good point earlier, too, about, you know, South Africans have kind of, like, been introduced to the world through, you know, Tyler and I'm on Piano and stuff like that. And so we're starting to finally see more of South Africa, how you guys are living and stuff like that. And, you know, we're being introduced. So now we're learning, you know what I mean? Whereas you guys have seen Black American culture probably all your lives. Like, I've seen African people talk about they watch Fresh Prince growing up. They watch Bill Cosby growing up. So, like, you guys have seen at least through a window how Black American culture is. And now we're just now seeing it because we're trying to learn compared to some other people who are staying ignorant about it. So, yeah.
And also, I think, like, a different perspective is just that because, you know, like they said, they didn't have to go through the hardships of what our people have went through necessarily. So I feel like we want it to be like that at some point. Yeah. It's just our people, the hurt runs so deep. Yeah. It's like kind of hard to like even see the road to get there. Yeah. Whereas though for them, it's just like so easy. Yeah. So not in like an envious way. It's just like we're just like what? Right. Like we
it's
can't
so foreign to us.
Yeah, we just can't even really wrap our heads around it. But like in the perfect world, we would like things to be like very neutral. And I can appreciate that the South Africans, like no matter what color they were, they're just kind of like, you know, we're just people like existing. Right. And it's like that seems peaceful, and that seems like, you know, an environment that I would like to, you know, thrive in and even like raise my children in. For sure. Because it's like when you travel outside of other places, it's not like, different. They're used to it. Whereas though, like, depending on where you're from here in America, you might have to do some serious adjusting.
For sure. Code switching, all that stuff. Like, you have to dilute who you are. That's true, diluting who you are.
It is like they're still embracing their culture, still, around other people, and it's just like the human experience.
Yes.
So I feel like that's like a privilege.
For sure. Yeah. When the guy mentioned that, hey, I don't see Black America, I just see them as people. I get where he's coming from, but it's like you said, it's foreign.
But it's like, and the other half of it is like it kind of makes it seem like you're downplaying our experience because it's just like, well, I mean, it's not that deep. Like, no, it is that deep.
It's that deep here. It is that deep here. But yeah, man. Shout out to Coop's Corner once again. Shout out to all the South Africans. Shout out to the colors. Shout out to the Indians. Shout out to the Blacks, Africans, and yeah, man. Love you all. Still learning, man. I'm sure you guys are, like, your keyboards are on fire right now. I can't wait to see what's going on in the comments later. All right. Let's finally get to an island. I did title this episode Beautiful African Islands, and we've been in South Africa and only did 2 videos. Jesus. So we're gonna do some quick ones. So
top hill, top hill, top hill. They don't know. Top hill, top hill, top hill. Just subscribe.